The fake badge gleamed as his palm cracked across my wife's cheek. The slap echoed off our garage walls like a gunshot. Celeste stumbled backward, red handprint blooming on her face. She pulled out her phone to call real police. This psycho slapped it from her hands. Screens spiderwebbed across concrete with a sickening crunch. But he wasn't done. Rutherford Blackstone, fake HOA cop wannabe, kicked over our sacred memorial garden, trampled the flag display honoring my fallen Navy SEAL brothers, scattered photos of soldiers who died for America, sweet rose petals mixed with diesel exhaust from his wannabe police truck, my wife, pregnant, crying over broken phone pieces and crushed flowers. I'm Staff Sergeant Jake Morrison, Navy SEAL Team 6, currently deployed 8,000 miles away, watching my family get terrorized by some fake badge-wearing coward. He had no idea what was coming home. What would you do if fake cops attacked your pregnant wife? Drop your location. Where are you watching this unfold? Let me take you back 3 weeks before that slap heard round the neighborhood. I'm Staff Sergeant Jake Morrison, Navy SEAL Team 6. Been deployed overseas for 8 months, protecting American interests in places I can't name. Back home in Pinewood Estates, Colorado, my wife Celeste keeps our world running. Our modest ranch house sits in the heart of military family territory. 40% of neighbors are active duty or retired. We bought it with a VA loan because it felt safe. Kids playing while parents deployed, wives supporting each other through lonely nights. Celeste works part-time as a veterinary assistant. But her real job? Tending our backyard memorial garden. 3 wooden crosses honor my fallen SEAL teammates. Marcus died saving civilians in Kabul. Tommy took shrapnel meant for his squad. Rivera never made it off that helicopter in Syria. Celeste planted roses from each man's hometown. White Tennessee blooms, red Ohio petals, yellow Texas sunshine. She rotates the American flag daily. Neighbors bring flowers on Memorial Day. Even non-military families respect what that garden represents. Until Rutherford Blackstone decided it was a problem. Picture this: 52-year-old police academy dropout playing dress-up cop, full fake uniform, shiny badge, tactical vest straining over his beer gut, drives a modified F-150 with emergency lights like he's responding to donut emergencies. This clown appointed himself HOA compliance director without board approval. His real motivation? Pure resentment. He hated that military families earned respect he never could. We got benefits, honor, community support, everything his failed cop dreams never delivered. So he targeted us while husbands were deployed, vulnerable wives, alone with kids, dealing with fake authority. His opening move came on a Tuesday morning. Celeste found a bright yellow violation notice stuck to our front door. $500 fine, unauthorized landscaping violation. The notice claimed our memorial garden created insurance liability and community safety concerns. Said the HOA had enforcement authority requiring immediate compliance. Celeste researched HOA bylaws that night. Coffee steam rising from her mug, sprinkler system clicking across the roses, page after page of regulations. Nothing about memorial gardens, nothing about landscaping restrictions. Blackstone was making up rules as he went. She called me through secure military communications, voice shaking with anger, not fear. Jake, this man is trying to destroy the boys' memorial, claims it's against HOA rules that don't exist. I could hear normal neighborhood sounds behind her voice, lawnmower humming, kids playing, peace that some wannabe cop was shattering for his ego trip. Don't pay him a penny, I said. Document everything. I'm working on emergency leave. But Blackstone escalated before I could get home. The next morning he returned with backup. Ned Crenshaw, another failed security guard wearing tactical gear like a costume. They parked that ridiculous fake police truck in our driveway, diesel engine rumbling like a threat. Ma'am, you have 24 hours to remove this unauthorized memorial display, Blackstone announced, adjusting his fake badge. The HOA board has voted to enforce community safety standards. Celeste stood on our front porch, garden hose still in her hand from watering the roses. I want to see that board meeting minutes, and your real credentials. That's when Blackstone made his first mistake. He stepped onto our property without permission. We don't need permission, lady. We have enforcement authority over this entire community. Celeste pulled out her phone to record. Then you won't mind me calling real police to verify your authority. Blackstone's face went red. His fake deputy fidgeted with whatever toy weapon he'd brought. These wannabes were used to intimidating scared housewives, not military spouses who knew their rights. Put that phone away or you'll be charged with interfering with official business. The memorial roses swayed in gentle Colorado breeze, American flags snapping clean in morning air, normal people living normal lives while predators circled the vulnerable. Blackstone thought he'd found easy prey. He had no idea he'd just picked a fight with a Navy SEAL's family. Some mistakes you only get to make once. Blackstone returned 3 days later like a bad rash that wouldn't quit. This time he brought the whole amateur hour parade. Ned Crenshaw clutching his fake taser. I swear it was a TV remote wrapped in electrical tape. A new clown calling himself Deputy Martinez, who was obviously mall security, still rocking his Brookstone Shopping Center name tag under a tactical vest 2 sizes too small. Plus some pimply teenager with a walkie-talkie saying, "Copy that," to absolutely nobody. They rolled up in formation like they were storming Normandy instead of harassing a pregnant woman's flower garden. The morning air reeked of diesel exhaust from their ridiculous convoy as Blackstone strutted to our front door. "Mrs. Morrison, we have a warrant for immediate garden removal." Celeste stepped onto the porch, 7 months pregnant but standing tall like the warrior she married. "Show me that warrant." Blackstone held his fake papers just out of reach. "This is official HOA police business. Comply immediately or face arrest for obstruction. Here's where my wife proved why she's tougher than half my SEAL team." Instead of backing down, she pulled out her phone and hit record. "Since this is official police business, you won't mind me documenting everything for legal purposes." Blackstone's left eye started twitching, always a tell when bullies get challenged. "Put that phone away, ma'am." "You're interfering with lawful investigation." "What department did you say you're with?" Celeste asked, sweet as poisoned honey. "Badge number? Jurisdiction?" The fake deputy squad started sweating harder than recruits on Hell Week. Martinez kept tugging at his name tag like it might disappear. The teenager tried hiding behind Ned's considerable beer gut. That's when Celeste dropped her first tactical strike. "Funny thing, I already called County Sheriff Dispatch. They're sending a real deputy to verify your credentials. Should arrive any minute." Blackstone's face went from red to eggplant purple. His whole scam depended on intimidating isolated victims. Real cops showing up meant game over for his dress-up party. We don't need county verification. HOA enforcement operates under federal community safety regulations. Even pregnant, Celeste nearly burst out laughing. Federal regulations for rose bushes? Seriously? The sweet sound of an actual police siren cut through suburban morning calm. Deputy Sarah Riley's patrol car eased into our driveway, and suddenly Blackstone's crew looked like kids caught raiding the cookie jar. Deputy Riley stepped out, all professional competence and real authority. The contrast was embarrassing. Authentic versus artificial. The difference hit you like a spotlight. "Morning, folks." Dispatch said something about impersonation concerns. Blackstone tried keeping his tough guy act together. "Deputy, we're HOA enforcement conducting official community safety operations." Chen examined his costume shop uniform, plastic badges, toy tactical gear. Years of police training versus weekend warrior fantasies. "Let's see your peace officer certification." "We're not peace officers. We're HOA compliance enforcement." "Then why the police-style uniforms and arrest threats?" Chen ran Blackstone's ID through her mobile unit. What came back changed everything. "Mr. Blackstone, you're not licensed security in Colorado. No legal authority for detentions or enforcement actions." Then she paused, checking something else. "But you are legitimately appointed HOA compliance director." Blackstone's smirk returned like a bad infection. "Exactly. Full authority for HOA violation enforcement. Community association governance falls under federal housing regulations." Chen looked uncomfortable, like she'd stepped in something unpleasant. "Ma'am, technically they're not impersonating police if they don't claim to be officers. And HOA enforcement is civil jurisdiction." I could hear Celeste's heart sinking through the phone when she called later. Blackstone had found his golden loophole. Not criminal enough for arrests, but enough fake power to terrorize families. "However," Riley added, "threatening arrests without authority could constitute harassment. Happy to file reports if you want charges pressed." Blackstone actually laughed. "Harassment for enforcing community standards? We have documented violations and board authorization." After Riley left and the fake deputy circus packed up their toys, Celeste did what military spouses do best. She fought back smart. That afternoon, her recorded confrontation hit the Pinewood Estates Facebook group like a tactical nuke. Within hours, the comments section exploded with similar stories. Lisa Martinez: threatened towing while my husband deployed to Afghanistan. Sarah Kim: fake citations for kids' sidewalk chalk during Iraq tour. Jenny Rodriguez: said our Purple Heart flag violated community aesthetics. Pattern recognition kicked in fast. 6 families, all military, all targeted during deployments. By evening, Celeste had organized something beautiful, an informal network of military wives sharing legal resources, documenting harassment patterns, building evidence files. From my secure communication post overseas, I watched my wife transform from victim to general. She was building an army. Blackstone thought his legal loophole meant victory, but he'd just handed a bunch of pissed-off military spouses a common enemy. Big mistake. We protect our own. And we never surrender to bullies. The real war was just getting started. Blackstone's fake authority went to his head faster than cheap whiskey at a frat party. Within a week, our mailbox was stuffed with more bogus violations than a carnival game booth. $400, emergency safety violation, Memorial Garden creates pedestrian trip hazard. $300, insurance liability notice, unauthorized flag display increases HOA premiums. $500, community aesthetics violation, non-approved landscaping disrupts property values. $1,200 in fake fines for honoring dead soldiers. The paperwork looked official enough to fool most people. Professional letterhead, legal-sounding language, official stamps that probably came from a craft store. Blackstone had done his homework on intimidation tactics, but the real gut punch came with the threat letter. Final notice: failure to remit payment within 72 hours will result in property lien filing and possible foreclosure proceedings. HOA Enforcement Authority supersedes homeowner objections under Federal Housing Community Safety Act. Celeste read that garbage while I was stuck 8,000 miles away, unable to protect my family. The morning coffee in her mug went cold as she realized what Blackstone was attempting: financial warfare against military families who couldn't afford legal battles during deployments. That's when she discovered something interesting. During my years in special operations, I'd learned that every bureaucratic system has pressure points. Celeste decided to find Blackstone's weak spots. She started with public records research. Turns out legitimate HOA enforcement requires formal board voting and state insurance commission licensing. Who knew? Blackstone certainly hoped nobody would figure that out. Her next move was pure tactical brilliance. Instead of fighting alone, she called an emergency HOA board meeting. I'm requesting immediate review of Mr. Blackstone's enforcement authority and recent violation procedures, she announced to board president Harold Whimsy over the phone. Whimsy sounded nervous as a long-tailed cat in a room full of rocking chairs. Well, Mrs. Morrison, Rutherford has been very thorough in his community safety efforts. Thorough enough to require $1,200 in fines for a memorial garden honoring fallen soldiers. The board supports maintaining property values and community standards. Celeste organized every targeted military family to attend that board meeting. 10 wives, 15 kids, 2 retired colonels, and 1 very pissed-off Gold Star mother whose son died in Fallujah. The community center felt electric that Tuesday night. Folding chairs packed with military families on one side, Blackstone supporters on the other. The smell of burnt coffee and tension thick enough to cut with a bayonet. Celeste stood up first, pregnancy making her movements careful, but her voice steel strong. Mr. Blackstone has issued over $8,000 in violations to military families in the past month, 0 violations to non-military residents. I'm requesting board review of this obvious discrimination pattern. Blackstone jumped up like his chair was on fire. Mrs. Morrison, military families don't get special treatment for ignoring community regulations. What regulations? Show me the bylaw requiring memorial garden removal. That's when the meeting took an ugly turn. Harold Whimsy cleared his throat. The board has reviewed Mr. Blackstone's documentation. His enforcement methods appear thorough and justified. Retired Colonel Patterson stood up, all 6'4" of decorated Marine authority. Harold, I've read these violation notices. Half the cited regulations don't exist in your HOA charter. Well, Rutherford has broader authority to interpret community safety needs. The room erupted, military families demanding answers. Blackstone supporters mumbling about special privileges and declining property values. Then Celeste dropped her bombshell. Mr. Whimsy, when did the board vote to grant Mr. Blackstone Enforcement Authority? Whimsy's face went pale as hospital sheets. Well, we discussed it extensively. I want to see the meeting minutes, the official vote count, the documented approval. Silence stretched like a taut wire. Finally, Whimsy mumbled, Rutherford presented very compelling arguments for community safety enhancement. Colonel Patterson's voice cut through the room like a sword. That's not a vote, Harold. That's not even a discussion. You gave enforcement authority to someone without board approval? Here's where things got really interesting. Whimsy started sweating like he was in a sauna. Look, Rutherford is family. My brother-in-law. He's just trying to help maintain community standards. The revelation hit the room like a flashbang grenade. Nepotism, fake authority, family corruption protecting harassment campaigns against military families. But Whimsy wasn't done digging his grave. These military families think they're special, moving in with their flags and memorials, expecting everyone to worship their service. This is a civilian community with civilian standards. Dead silence. Then Colonel Patterson smiled, the kind of smile that makes smart people very nervous. Harold, I think you just clarified exactly what this is really about. The meeting ended with formal complaints filed, legal documentation requested, and one very exposed fake authority network. Blackstone had gained some fake power through family connections, but he'd just revealed the whole conspiracy to a room full of people trained in tactical planning. Military families don't just fight battles, we win wars. And this war was about to get very interesting. Blackstone's harassment campaign shifted into psycho-stalker territory after that board meeting humiliation. 6 a.m. door pounding became his new hobby. Bang, 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 fake badges rattling against our front door like machine gun fire. HOA wellness check. Noise complaints require immediate investigation. Celeste would stumble to the door, 7 months pregnant and exhausted, to find Blackstone's smug face pressed against the window. Ma'am, we've received multiple reports of disruptive activity from this residence. What disruptive activity? I was sleeping. Failure to comply with community quiet hours. Excessive television volume after 10 p.m. Our neighbors on both sides confirmed they'd never filed complaints. Blackstone was manufacturing violations out of thin air, using fake authority to invade our home at all hours. But the real mindfuck was his psychological warfare tactics. He started referencing my deployment with creepy accuracy. How's Staff Sergeant Morrison's classified assignment going? Dangerous work, those overseas operations. Hope he stays safe out there. The implication was crystal clear. This wannabe cop somehow had inside information about military operations. Celeste's blood ran cold every time he dropped hints about locations, mission timelines, security protocols. Ma'am, military families face unique challenges during extended deployments. Community support becomes essential for safety and well-being. Translation: your husband's not here to protect you. I can do whatever I want. The fake citations multiplied like cancer cells. Unauthorized vehicle parking, because Celeste's car sat in our own driveway. Improper trash placement for putting bins out Tuesday night instead of Wednesday morning. Violation of community aesthetic standards for a chalk drawing our neighbor's kid left on our sidewalk. Every violation came with the same threat. Failure to remit payment within 48 hours will result in escalated enforcement action. What kind of escalated action? Blackstone made sure Celeste's imagination filled in the blanks. That's when I made the decision that changed everything. Through secure military communications, I told my commanding officer the whole situation. Family emergency requiring immediate intervention. Morrison, you've got 96 hours emergency leave approved. Handle your situation. Meanwhile, Celeste was building her own intelligence network. She'd installed security cameras around our property, little wireless units that looked like decorative garden lights. Every harassment incident got recorded in crystal clear high definition. The footage revealed Blackstone's operation was bigger than we thought. He wasn't just targeting us anymore. His fake deputy squad was conducting patrols throughout military family neighborhoods. Ned Crenshaw issuing parking tickets to wives picking up kids from school. Mall cop Martinez photographing houses.